back to the Within Reach podcast. We are very excited to be back for another episode. I would tell you what number this is, but I cannot remember. So,
7.
Is it?
Yep.
Beautiful. Episode 7. Let's go. So, joining me again is Krystal and Anthony. How are you guys today?
Wonderful. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. I think we're doing well today. We've been working hard, or hardly working, one of the two. What's been going on with you guys?
You start.
Hardly working. That's what's been going on. This morning, run club as usual, and a little swim, coffee.
Sounds good.
That's about it.
This morning I went to the Movement Collective. I rode my bike there, which is quite nice. And then working with you guys.
Yeah. Active morning by the sounds of it. Mine has definitely not been active. I got on the laptop at 6:30 and I got off to come here. So that's fun. But movement maybe later tonight. So today's episode, we're going to be getting into all things within reach, business and community. So this is a topic that I really wanted to speak on because I do find that for a lot of coaches in our industry, the head noise can be really loud because when you're trying to open up a coaching business, there's so many ways that you could do it. So I wanted to spend some time kind of going through the way that we do things at Within Reach and to also speak on the community aspect and get some of our listeners, I suppose, to understand how important community is, because I do believe that we have done a fantastic job at creating an incredible community here at Within Reach. And it's the number one thing that keeps me going. So, you know, I know for all three of us, community is a massive, massive part. But getting kind of started, what does community mean to you?
A group of like-minded people that support you and that get you meet up and do events. Please say that's what community means to me.
Yeah, when I think of community, I sort of think of like a fun, energetic atmosphere. I think of people coming together to do something great. I think always sort of being in, I guess, a community around rugby league growing up, around sort of fitness in the gym. I mainly focused around like group fitness and things like that. So when I think of community, I always think of like fitness, fun, energy, active, so I always feel like that. And then also creating my own run club, that was a huge step into sort of bringing the energy and showing up all the time to create something that was, I want to say, growth.
Yeah.
As well, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I find as well, you know, for myself, community is a massive, massive part of not only the business, but of what's gotten me to where I am today, because, you know, I've spent so much time feeling so lonely throughout like business journey, but then on top of that, also just with, you know, some of the big moves that I've done. You know, I've moved to Sydney, I've moved to Perth and back, and it's nice to be able to connect with a group of people on your wavelength that are able to support you in a journey that you almost didn't know you needed support in. Now, when we're kind of going through today's podcast, we're going to be relating a lot of this back to business, because I do find for a lot of coaches out there, particularly in the online space, community is the missing part, because an online space can sometimes make it a bit more challenging to create community. And I think being able to give our listeners a bit of an insight as to what we do and how we create that in our business will support people in being able to do the same thing. So when we relate community to business, why do you think that's important?
It lifts people up, like you're seeing that other people are on the same journey as you, or someone that may have been through something similar, or people that like know more than you, or like can lift you up and that you can learn from. So I think it's really awesome to see if people are feeling a bit alone, that they realize that they're not, and that being around other like-minded people can lift them up.
Yeah, I think learning from like-minded people, I think having, even as coaches, having more coaches around in the community environment, like being able to see the different perspectives, being able to talk about experiences, and I guess like share the growth with each other as well, letting us all know that, you know, it doesn't have to be the solo traveler on the road, it can be actually a great community and be be grown into something like more expansive and bigger.
Yeah.
Something I'm loving at the moment is our 8-week challenge community forum at the moment. And every week we have a different task about like posting in there. And like this week is posting your training selfie. I've absolutely loved seeing all the clients post their training selfie and everyone liking it and commenting on it. And it's like really motivating and really cool to see.
Yeah, it's very, very fun. It makes, I think, everybody feel more alive because it's almost holding you to that standard of like, oh, if I don't go and I don't post my selfie, then, I'm going to miss out on being able to interact with everyone else. So it's really, really cool. And I do find that when we're talking about community and we're talking about online coaching or just business in general, so many people are so lonely because they do feel like it has to either be a one-man show or they don't know how to connect with other coaches in the industry. Now, from my personal experience, working with both of you versus when I used to be a sole trader and work for myself before the company, it is a very different atmosphere. It's a very different vibe. And I much enjoy it now compared to when I was on my own because I did feel isolated and I did feel like I was kind of in a one-man show and I felt like I had to take, I guess, myself through the journey of growth rather than having people by my side. So I do definitely know that a lot of coaches, whether it's fitness coaches or mindset coaches or just general business owners in the online space particularly, it can feel really, really lonely. And the best thing that I did for myself and my business was to hire and then to have you two on my team. And now it's not my team, it's our team. It's like, it's really, really cool. But I do definitely think that a lot of coaches struggle with that loneliness and just not really knowing how to create connection. So what would be your number one tip for a coach in the industry or even a client who's feeling a little bit lonely to start to create connections with like-minded people?
I definitely think like reach out. If you're a coach, I think having other coaches surround you to lift you up and like experience each other's coaching is really cool. And I definitely think from a client perspective, like your coach wants to help you as much as possible. So if your coach runs things like we do it within Reach, where we hold the group events every month, then that is something that you also need to be open to wanting to come and experience and see the other clients, meet the other clients or meet the other members and share the journey with them.
Something for me, it's like growing up in the Hawkesbury where there wasn't many like-minded people and then moving to Newcastle and especially like this past year, realizing that there is so many like community events going on. So if you're someone that is, feeling a bit lonely, look online, see what's happening in your area because I can assure you, like if you're in Newcastle, there is countless run clubs, there is meditation events and you just got to push yourself out of your comfort zone to go if you don't know anyone, but I can guarantee you'll be like welcomed with open arms.
Yeah, it's a really good place here in Newcastle. So Newcastle's it's where you both live. It's not where I live anymore, but it's where I grew up. And it's a great place. But I think, if you are, say from a smaller town or from somewhere that doesn't have a lot of that, something you can do is just try and connect with people online. It's funny how many people are scared to reach out and send someone a message online when there's no face-to-face interaction. So you, in theory, should be easier. But I feel for especially other coaches in the online space, being able to be open to reaching out to other coaches to just connect because nobody's on a higher, on a high horse, nobody's on a pedestal, nobody's better than anyone else. And being able to remove the ego or remove, I guess, your feeling of competition allows you to be open to networking and experiences. And something that I've learned for myself and for the business so far this year, and it's only February, is that networking is incredible for your growth, for the growth of others, and for your business growth. And I've already had some incredible opportunities, and we've already had some incredible opportunities this year so far just by reaching out to people and networking. And you'd be surprised how many people are on the same mission as you, just trying to make a difference in the world and get better and to grow. But it can be really hard to do so when you are feeling lonely, like this is the journey that only you are on. Now, to kind of segue this, community is so important to us, and I would love to hear, I mean, I already know, but I'd love our listeners to kind of hear from both of you, what is it that we do at Within Reach that creates community and, you know, from the online space, but also face-to-face?
Yeah.
We have our community forums that are inside the app, so it's not like you have to go to like Facebook group chat or anything. It's all in the one place. And we also have group chats as well that we message in weekly to share our goals for the week on a Monday and share our weekly wins on a Friday, and any information that we have to tell our clients. We have very good communication Within Reach. And in our community forums, we post regularly in there. It's not just a dead space. We are posting educational content, from all three of us weekly. In our 8-week challenge one, there's different tasks for them to do each week. So they were sharing their fruit last week and selfies this week.
That was actually pretty cool seeing everybody upload their 2 fruits every day.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I just eat the same fruit all the time. I need to change it up.
It definitely, I think, being able to be online and have a space where everyone can connect, whether, you know, people usually find that community through in-person stuff. I feel like we've created a really, really good space that everyone can be online. Everyone can connect really well through the forums, through the group chats, through the monthly events that we do hold, which are in person.
And every client is always invited to those. And we run so many fun ones as well.
Do you want to say like what kind of events that we do?
Yeah, so I mean, we just did a technique workshop and ice baths event. That was last Saturday. We've got treetops coming up this month. So this is where you go to like a treetop adventure park and you go, like, if you just do fun things, you know, we've done lunches and dinners, we've done bowling, we've done, oh my God, we've done so many things.
Oh my God,
what else did we done?
We did drag. Oh, that was for
Oh
birthdays.
yeah, we did drag
Yeah.
bingo.
Yeah.
We took our clients to drag bingo. So Anthony and my birthday's sort of around the same time. It's like 3 weeks apart.
Yeah.
So last year in August, we took our clients to drag bingo, and we had Thursday night pizza and we had cocktails and we played bingo with Timberlina, the drag queen.
Yes.
Like, so much fun. We do so many crazy things. But it's like, I think as well, kind of looking at that, you don't always have to, if you're trying to run in a community event for your clients, it doesn't always have to be fitness related. Like, I don't know about you guys, I'm sure you agree with this, but I just want to get to know my clients on a personal level. You know, yes, to a degree, you do have to still have a bit of a line between friendship and business, because at the end of the day, our clients are paying for a service, but we still want to know them. We still want to be friendly. We still want to engage with them, and we still want to show them that, you know, they are capable of anything. And the best way to do that is to sometimes take them out of the fitness world and actually know them on a deeper level. The amount of random conversations we've had at, like, you know, putt-putt and bowling and drag bingo of all things. And it's just so much fun. Like, everyone, like, we're real humans. They're real humans. Connect, you know? So it's really cool that we do that.
Yeah. Like, some people can put like coaches on pedestals that, like, you know, they never eat any sweets or pizza or,
Oh my God.
yeah. So I think it's really awesome that, we can have that time with our clients and can be on their level.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we do create a balanced lifestyle. Like, that none of us sitting here right now limits any food group or, you know, trained every single session. I'm sure that we've all had some sessions off from time to time. Like, we're still human beings. And I think, from a client perspective, remembering that your coach is a human too, and that as long as they kind of practice what they preach, that's important. And we definitely practice what we preach, which is, you know, it's not necessarily balance. It's being able to understand which phase of your life you're in and working your goals and your actions around that. And then also from a coach perspective, knowing that your clients just want to know you. And when you're in business, people aren't always paying for your services. They're also paying for you because you're the person they want to work with. So then being able to further connect actually will change the game for the business.
Definitely. And the more authentic you are, then people actually want to work with you because you are authentic. If you are showing up as this person on social media as a coach and it isn't truly who you are, then once people start signing up with you, they're going to find out really quick.
I think people are actually smarter than we think too. You know, like people can spot somebody who's not authentic or not themselves from a mile away, and it's pretty clear. So yeah, the better authentic you can be, the more likelihood there is of people knowing you, liking you, and trusting you. Because at the end of the day, without any of those things, they're not going to want to join your community. I do definitely think that you can spot inauthenticity very, very quickly, and that's from a coaching perspective and a client perspective, right? So yeah, really good point. Now, moving into kind of the business side of things, because we are all quite skilled in different areas, but we also come together because at the end of the day, we're growing a business, we want it to thrive, and we want our clients to thrive as well. So I actually would love to break down with people how Within Reach works in the back end. And, you know, we're not giving away any secrets because there's no secrets. We want to be here to help coaches be able to identify how to grow their business, but also to help clients understand, like, how does this actually work? So kicking things off with you, Krystal, let's talk about the structure that we have in place at Within Reach and how as coaches we work together, create a sense of community with each other and are able to serve clients well.
So we have our platform, for the Within Reach platform, that we deliver our programming and the forums and the chats. Everything is on there. And then as for us as coaches, we all go to the office together we now changed it to a Friday, used to be a Tuesday. And that's a way that we can all work together, even though we're all online. It's still awesome to have those in-person days to be able to communicate with each other, learn of each other, and bounce ideas. And and for the rest of the week, we have our community forums and our chats on the app, and we also have our own WhatsApp group between us. And we also have our virtual assistant on there too.
Yep. Yeah. Shout out to Imogen, new VA. She's really good. Yeah, so we have a virtual assistant as well, and it's important when you're in the coaching space, you want to be able to do your job well. And without having somebody to take over those tasks that maybe you're not so skilled in or maybe you need some help with, you can't concentrate on the things that matter, which is growing the business and continuing to provide a really good service. So with that being said, and you've been with me for, closer to 12 months now. How have you noticed our services change over time to better suit what we do now and also the clientele that we have?
Definitely. I think being able to hire a VA has really helped us specialize more on focusing with our clientele, focusing in more on how we educate them, giving them more feedback, giving them more data to look at, being able to really educate them the best that we can rather than having to focus on the things on the back end. So I think when we first started, you and I were basically doing everything.
Yeah, we were.
I couldn't imagine doing that by yourself, like the amount of time and effort that you put in to actually get this up and running, and then me stepping in and being like, wait, was she doing all of this by herself?
Yeah, just to kind of preface that, I had 60 clients and had the whole business structure by myself with no help. And looking back on that, I'm like, I have no idea how I did that. I couldn't do that now. In saying that, it was really unsustainable long term. Like, I didn't have a day off work. I was always working. I was getting pretty burnt out really quickly. When I hired you, you literally changed the game, because then I had Kelsey as well, who was our old VA. And we really changed the structure very quickly.
Yes, yeah. So we definitely did realize that there was things that we could improve on and things that we could do better for our clientele and even just for ourselves as, you know, to business owners that were like, well, there are better ways to do things. And I think that's a lot of, as a business owner, you really do got to look at your back end and also your front end and be like, well, what's clunky, what's not working, how can we improve this? And again, investing a little bit of time to research if there is a better way, I think is valuable. But I think for us, we sort of chucked everything out and started from fresh almost to be like, well, let's just...
Yeah, I'm looking at you funny because the amount of times that I've changed things in the last 6 months is... I'm surprised you're still here. Let's just say that. We've changed things so many times, but I think because I'm always trying to... the way my brain works, I'm always trying to find a better way to do things. And that was perfect what you said of like, you know, trying to find the way that is better, the way that's not clunky. Because when you're on your own, you know, you're doing everything and it's only your mind. So it's not really clunky because you are across everything. You don't have to assume anything. Once you came in and the dynamic changed, it was like, there's actually so many holes here that we need to fill. And then the dynamic changed again when we brought Krystal in. And by the time that I had both of you plus Kelsey, I realized how many holes there actually were in the bucket. And we have spent so many months filling those holes.
We sure have. Could you maybe give, for the other business owners that may be in the space or something like that, could you maybe give an example of, something?
So I can give a really good example. So, for example, when Anthony first started, he was under an hourly rate, and he was kind of, it was very back and forth. By the way, it took me many months to trust, and it wasn't that I didn't trust you. It was that I was giving somebody else part of my business and telling them to do things in my business, which is like, it's my business, it's my livelihood, right? So I really struggled with trust and delegating. And I think most business owners, when you first hire, you do struggle with that. Delegating is really hard and you want to be across everything. So I had to let go of that, which took a while. But when we brought Krystal in, I also realized that the hourly rate is not a good way to do things, because what had happened it didn't allow, first of all, from the clients, because at the end of the day, clients do come first. For the clients, I felt it was a bit clunky because even though they didn't know, because it didn't really affect them, Anthony and Krystal were only on particular hours. So if they weren't in those hours, they weren't replying to clients' messages. They weren't able to do those extra things for the clients. And then I ended up actually doing all of those things. So even though I had 2 staff members, I was still finalizing everything, finishing everything off and getting everything done because they were only working when they were working. So from your perspective as well, you guys didn't have the full capacity to be able to be your own coach. And something that I'm really big on is, if I have a coach coming into my space, again, it's no longer my space, it's our space. And I want you guys to be able to be authentic and show up as the people that you actually are. If you are under my wing, you almost accidentally conform to who I am and the way I do things. And I didn't really like that. So we changed the structure in January, and now Krystal and Anthony are taking on their own clients, which means they're on, to a degree, uncapped earnings. They have a role in the business still. They know what their responsibilities are. They're not people that I have to follow up on. Like, they just do the thing they know they need to do. And it allows growth for both of you. It allows growth for the clientele, and it allows the clients to be able to be responded to when they need, to be able to have things actioned when they need. And oh my God, did it take the stress off me. It stopped me from having to worry about everyone and focus on the people that were working directly with me, which now allows me, like, this podcast never would have happened if we didn't change that structure. Mm-hmm. So that's a massive one. It was like figuring out what worked and what didn't work, but also knowing that I couldn't continue to do what I was doing on my own, because the vision I see is so much bigger than that. I feel like I've been talking for ages.
No, spot on. And I know that we've talked about the vision and the bigger picture of what we're actually creating. And I definitely see how working solo, 60 clients is not sustainable.
No, and you know what as well, like some coaches would shudder at the thought of that, but I did it well. I'll give myself a pat on the back. Nobody got missed, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, just not sustainable. And like if you're going to preach something to your clients about sustainability, you got to do it yourself, right?
Definitely.
And also coming back to community, I would not have been able to have us create the community that we now have because I wouldn't have had the energy all the time. So I think for business owners or coaches out there who are looking at, you know, expanding their business or trying to develop a community within their business, it's like identifying how you can do that. Well, you can't do everything because you're not going to have the energy to do what counts. And sometimes those 1% of things are the things that carry you through, because without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do, you know, the podcast. I wouldn't be able to do the community events that we run each month. And I wouldn't be able to ensure that every single client is getting everything they need and then some. Because like we want to exceed expectation, right? We don't want to go on expectation. We want to exceed it. So to kind of wrap that up, because that was a bit about business and community, I'd love to hear from you both 2 or 3 things that you think that, you know, somebody should do to start to create more community in their world and to identify what they might be doing that's holding them back.
Perfect. I definitely think to introduce more community in, like, depending on where you are, I do believe that there is events no matter where you are. So I definitely think getting out of your comfort zone and going to an event, no matter what sort of event it is, to just meet people. And I think that that would be a great way to get community, or even if it's not on person, like online seminars, online workshops, those types of things. If, you know, you have, let's say, from a coaching standpoint, as a coach, if you follow a mentor or you look up to someone in inspiration and you don't have a lot of community around you and they're facilitating a workshop online, something like that, then by all means, get yourself amongst it. If you are just someone who's looking to get into the health and fitness space, then look at if a coach is holding a free workspace, free workshop, or even just speak to friends who may be already starting their fitness journey, something like that.
Yeah, I guess so. For someone that's wanting to get into health and fitness and feeling a bit alone, again, I would find some events in your area, whether it's a run club or like a gym community, or there's some like more mindfulness yoga around. That's like they create some really beautiful, welcoming communities. And if you're like a coach, a business owner, wanting to create more community, there's like business networking events these days, and then also creating in-person events with your clients.
Yeah, love that. I love all of that. Well, thanks guys for today. I hope that everybody listening has taken something away about how important community is, about how to create more community in your world, and if you're a coach listening, how to start to look at your business from a different light. So once again, thank you guys, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thanks.
See ya. Bye.